Well, if you like Japanese influence on your pocket knives, this new steel will Daitengu might be exactly what you're looking for. That's right, folks, back at it again. Welcome to another video. Welcome to just blade talk. Love talking about blades, pocket knives, fixed blades, gear in general, and just the influence that it has on our lives, what is out there. There's just so much good stuff out there and so much good stuff from Steel Will. And I'm really excited because having been somebody who's been reviewing Steel Will blades basically since they hit the market, it's exciting to see the new unique designs that they're dropping. When they first started out, because they were a new company, it was a very similar blade materials, handles, pocket clips, carbon copies of each other, really just different shapes and sizes. Now they're really moving into something that gives you a lot of different designs that they are dropping in the last year or so. And this one is no exception, because this one definitely has an influence of a Japanese sword dagger to it. Daitengu, I believe that's something out of Japanese mythology, and so it definitely has that style of influence going for the knife. So I'm excited today to walk you through what it has to offer, pros, cons, whether or not it's something that you would want to throw in your collection if you were influenced by Japanese culture, or you just like throwing in new blades in the rotation. You're somebody who loves Steel Will and what they offer, the level of value to performance. We're going to take a look at all of that today. So let's go ahead, jump on over and take a look. All right, so we're gonna look at the deployment, lockup, and what I like is the smoothness. I don't think I have a single Steel Will knife that isn't nice and smooth and fast, regardless of what type of deployment options they're using. Now these are on bronze bushings. You can see that in there, really good. And we'll just look at that lockup. Liner lock, it's thin, similar to everything else you see from Steel Will. I've never had one fail on me. Would have liked to see it maybe just a millimeter thicker. You got that detent ball in there, as you can see. And close that sucker up. The centering is good on there. Ambidextrous thumb studs, so righties and lefties can easily deploy that. Don't have to flick the wrist. So that's all good. We got that nice stop pin back there. Stop bar, good, solid. No issues there at all. So good, strong lockup. Little wobble side to side, none up and down. Very solid in that regard. And then easy to disengage. You got that jimping just barely coming past the G10. That's what you got to have. I made a comment about, I can't remember the other knife that I was testing recently, that the lock, it was the Steel Will Apostate. The frame lock was flush. This has the jimping just slightly above, so it's very easy for me to engage, even if I were disengage the lock, even if I had it in my with gloves on. The tip is buried enough that I can't catch it even when I rub my fingers in there, so that's a good thing. The detent is decent. When I do this, it doesn't want to come out. If I whip it just a little bit, it will come out, so it's okay. Let's just see here. I feel like the Shaula is maybe just a slightly bit stronger. Yeah, maybe about the same. So it's decent. It's not like a super strong detent. It's decent, and you can whip it out just like that. So as to the blade itself, D2 steel. It's like the bread and butter of all the sub $100 Steel Wills that are out there. It's a good steel. I feel like they've got it pretty well heat treated. It's not too brittle and chippy from anything that I've ever used with. I think I've probably done 8 of their folders that have D2 on it, but it's not so overly tough that it's like impossible to resharpen. And this has a good relief edge on it. I was really happy about that. It has a high flat grind. It's a saber that transitions into a flat up here near the tip. The thickness near the studs is 1/8 of an inch and then tapers down to that nice precise tip. I mean, this is a great EDC tool because of how precise that tip is. And again, not really designed for deep penetration and then prying or anything like that. This is like a precision tool, scalpel, that type of thing. The blade height from edge to spine is 0.75, and then overall length from handle to tip is going to be 3¼ inches overall length. Actual cutting edge is going to be right around there, maybe 3.1 on the actual cutting edge. And then they have some with satin finishes. This is their kind of acid, which I love. And it definitely has that profile, as you can see there, of a lot of Japanese tools. I really like that. It really connects with me. The overall just profile of the blade is very Japanese feeling. And so in this regard, what you get is a good, it's almost kind of like a modified tanto, honestly, or tanto. So you got a long straight portion right here and then a sweep to that precision tip. So the piercing is going to be phenomenal, but you still get a little bit of belly versus just a straight up tanto, and then slicing capability as well. So it's a really good kind of mix and blend of piercing, thin, sleek blade. I think it's a great gentleman blade, or just general EDC if you like the profile and you still want precision and slicing capability. You're not looking for some super strong, thick, overbuilt folder. There are other blades. Here's one, the Lanner from Steel Will. It's thicker, you know, it's stronger. The tip isn't as precise. You know, so there are a lot of options that are out there. This is more of sleek, slim, and precision in a Japanese style. Now, one of the things that I like with the Daitengu handle is that it not only is super lightweight, coming in at 2.9 ounces for this blade, which is really good. So under 3 ounces for an over 3-inch cutting edge is always awesome. And I like that Steel Will is really experimenting. And I wonder if what's going on in the fact that they're using just a lot of the same materials like D2 and almost all their blades under like $100, that they first for a long time were doing only bronze bushings, and now they're starting to do some ball bearings, that they wanted to get like a good plumb line going for themselves on, hey, this is how we make knives, this is what works for us, this is what doesn't, and then starting to slowly integrate extra different things depending on the design. So I like that aspect because I believe this is one of their first, I'm looking at some of their other blades I have over here that we'll look at, competitive options. This is one of the first non-linered knives that they have. So it's G10 everywhere, but there's no liner in there, which I really like, which helps it with the lightweight feel of being under 3 ounces, which is really cool. Then you have, this is like polished G10, so you can see that there. I mean, there's no traction. So this is definitely not, I would not call this a combat knife or, you know, like a military style knife or anything like that. This is definitely more of just an everyday utility, almost gentleman's tool. All the transitions are really nice, even though the angles look kind of choppy. It actually feels really good in my large size hands. It have plenty of real estate there, have a little bit of that jimping that they've put into the G10 cut in there. They even have these little flow through squares, which is cool. So not only can you clean it out, but also just gives it a little bit of a cool feel to it. The overall handle length itself is going to be, gotta make sure I got my data right here, 4¼ inches, the height is 1 inch, and then the maximum thickness is 0.47. So under a ½ inch means that it's pretty slim, but if, again, it doesn't feel small or anything like that. And even with this little cut in, I do have front end traction, which is good, even in a reverse grip. I'm not gonna accidentally slide up and hurt myself, but even though it may look a little blocky, it feels very comfortable in the hand. So I really enjoy that. They do have a couple of different color combinations. This one obviously being that OD green. I believe they have black, and they might even have one other color combination on the G10. But I like it because it's different, it's unique, it flows with the design of the tool. It does have a completely different pocket clip than what we've known for years that they used to do. They only used to have this type of pocket clip on almost every design that they came out with. But now there's 3 different Steel Will models. We have 3 different pocket clips. So I really like that. And it's a nice blend between the standard kind of high ride and the really deep ride over here. So it's kind of, you're still getting a pretty deep ride there, but it is a little bit of a standoffish just because of how slick the handles are. It's good because it gives you just enough to pull out the blade, which is really good. You do have that hollowed out lanyard hole right there as well, which is good, matching those other spacers and things like that. So good, ambidextrous. You can flip it right or left, pocket clip. All right, so question, moment of truth. What sets this apart from any other Steel Will? Like, say, the Shaula right there. D2 steel. We got ball bearings on this one. G10 with steel liners. We got the Lanner, as I showed you just a moment ago. That's the full-size version. G10 again, D2 steel, bronze bushings, very similar. And we'll run in here the full-size Intrigue, way up here, obviously being a little bit larger. This one, bronze bushings, D2 steel. Polymer handle, this one being polymer, flow-through construction, steel liners, all that. To be honest with you, it's style. Really, that's the only thing that sets the Daitengu apart from its counterparts in the steel wheel line. You're getting very similar fit and finish. You're getting same steel on all the blades. You're getting a similar handle material to these three and slightly better handle material than on the Intrigue with the polymer. So there's not a lot of difference except for what connects with you. If the Daitengu Japanese style of blade connects with you, it's different, something you don't have, sweet, that connects with you. It's not any better or any worse than basically anything else out here on the table from steel wheel. So it's good in that steel wheel is giving you the same, in many ways, just the same materials, just in different styles to fit the needs that you have. So on one level, that's really cool because then you know what you're getting. You're not like, well, this is HCR 13 MOV, this is AUS 8, this is D2, this is 154 CM. I have no idea what I'm getting. And do they do those heat treats and steels well? We got glass reinforced nylon, we got FRN, we got G10, we've got aluminum. There's all these like things. So on one level, it's good that it's very it almost feels like mechanical in what's going on here. On the flip side is I do hope to, now at this point, to start to see some differences. I would like to see this Daitengu in maybe like VG10, from Japan, made in Japan or something like that. It'd be really cool to go along with the style or something like that. Just to give it a little flavor, a little bit different, maybe a different type of steel. Maybe I'll get a little bit different edge retention. So down the line, I do hope that does start to happen. I will hit price here with you. Now, Steel Wheel did send this thing over to me to test out, review, give you guys my data, my info, so you guys can make a decision. Is it a good tool to put in your EDC rotation or not? We will have links for you guys over to Blade HQ, GP Knives, and Amazon, where you can pick up the Daitengu, I believe is how you pronounce it. Where you can pick that up, as well as all these other tools that we're going to look at. And I'll give you one other competitive option just for the heck of it from Civivi here in 1 second. And we appreciate when you purchase through those hyperlinks and all the other links that we offer to you guys, 511, backcountry.com, Knockaround Sunglasses, Mystery Ranch, and all the rest, guys. We just appreciate it. It means a lot to us. So thank you very much for doing that. And even helping support us through PayPal. This is the big help, major blessing. You guys are amazing. So with all that being said, the Daitengu comes in at about $67, $68. So it's on the higher end of what Steel Wheel produces in these blades here, because the one that comes close to that is the Lantern, which is around that same price point for their small and mediums, from what I remember. And then you're looking at the Shaula, which is going to be a little bit cheaper at about $52, I think, if I remember correctly. And then you got the Intrigue, which is more around like $42. So it is on the higher price point. I can't really tell you why that is, except that there's just a lot of differences in the designing and maybe, tooling and stuff that they had to do for the handles. That's about it. So it is on the higher end as well. So you got to think value. Is it the best value compared to what else Steel Wheel makes? If it's not really about the design and you just want value, go with the Intrigue. If it's something that you want, you really like ball bearings, well, for $15 cheaper almost, you can get yourself the Shaula. So there's things to think about. One other competitive option here is the Civivi I think this is the Corsair. I'll annotate it in. You can see there it's very similar profile. It's slim, it's sleek, G10. That one has VG10, made in China as well, just like all these other steel wheels are. It does have ball bearings, and I think that one is going to be around the $70-something price point. So it's a little more expensive than Daitengu, and will give you a different type of steel. So that's just something to consider. Just want to throw that in there for competitive options' sake. So there you have it, guys. Well, there you have it, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope this has shown you what the blade has to offer and whether or not it's something that you feel is going to provide a level of not only cool, but also performance to your EDC collection. It's a lot of fun, and I don't have a lot of Japanese influenced blades, so I'm looking forward to busting this bad boy out from time to time because of its cool styling, but also sweet performance. So thank you guys. Love to hear your comments below. Any questions that you have about the blade and the other competitive options we've looked at today and things like that. I'd love to answer your questions for you. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media, throwing up new videos and content all the time. So watch that other video popping up. Subscribe if you're not a current subscriber. Become part of the GT family. And always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.